I was getting something fixed on the car yesterday. You can cut this out if you want. You don't want to waste it. It's nothing. Just wondering what you think. So she starts telling me, oh, I'm recovering. I was a drug addict. I was on what kind of drugs? I was taking those pills, Oxycodone. It started off by her saying, oh, there's so many everybody's on drugs on Staten Island, she said.
I've heard this too from somebody.
Everybody, they're all doing heroin, they're doing this. So then she says, I was on Oxycontin, blah, 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 and I got off like several months ago. I wouldn't do that again. And I'm in a program. And she tells me, then it gets into something else, because there was something on a TV going on. And then she said, oh yeah, and I have a kid, and my kid was taken away from me.
This actually goes to everything we're talking about. Where does it bring you?
No, just wait. I got to finish what I'm saying now.
Without knowing the creator, where are you going to end up?
So then somewhere in this...
This is where you end up.
Yeah, she said all of them and everything, so many of them, even the older one. She goes, you have no idea. And I said, well, she goes, well, I'm right in the middle of it and this and that. And I said, you must be in your 20s. She said, yeah. So then I was talking to some other guy, and I brought up something about the media. I said, yeah, I'm in the media, blah, blah, whatever. No, I didn't say much. So then she talked a little bit more about that. She asked me where I lived, and I said, well, how do you support yourself now? How do you do this? She goes, well, I'm on Social Security disability because I got hit by some car or something. But then I saw the car she had outside. She had this nicer, newer Infiniti. I didn't really put it. But anyway, when she was leaving, she goes, well, why don't I give you my number, because I could be an actress. I wanted to be an actress, and, maybe you could do something with me in the media. She asked me the company and stuff, right? So she gave me a number. I said, well, listen. She goes, give me a call. And she goes, please give me a call. And I said, oh, okay, I'll give you a call. We'll hang out. She goes, yeah, let's hang out. So here's my question here. Do I have to steer clear of somebody? Now, this is all very, 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 very not spiritual.
No, this is actually related.
Now,
how do you deal with?
How do I look at this? Do I look at this?
How do you deal with this life experience, and what's the purpose?
Do I look
at
this?
Where do we go with it?
Do I look at this to help this woman as a daughter? And then the other thing is,
well, I think what you have to do with all of this is, I think this is related because when these things are presented to you, everything in life is a lesson to be learned. Every experience.
So I'm just wondering. Here's the thing: do I even make contact with this person? She has a child with another man. She lost custody. That child is with a man somewhere. She was involved with drugs. I mean, she knows certain people. I don't know if she's been busted. And if she was involved in drugs on some level, she's got to be a manipulator. So the question is, is this woman, could this woman bring me down in some way?
This is what life presents to us. What do we do, right, with this?
If I knew she wasn't a felon, and I know she wouldn't bring any drama to me, right?
Well, I think it's a question of...
Then I don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize my life. You deal with people who are involved in that. They got all kinds of crazy shit going on.
Right, that's true, you're right.
That's what concerns me.
Yes, right. Well, then there's also the scripture that says, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. So you do have to be wise in life of who you're mixing up with. And because when you're dealing with that level, you're dealing with dangerous people.
Could be.
You're dealing with, she knows drug dealers. What's her husband? Or whoever her boyfriend or the man of that is, he around? Could you find yourself suddenly with a blackjack to the back of your head because you're over her house? Right. Or kicking down the door and shooting
all of that. Right, you get it. You get it. And also the aspect, maybe she was put there.
Well, and that goes back to the illusion of it all, because we might like things to be a certain way. I mean, we might like the experience of the physical pleasures, but there's always a cost. There's always the fine line. And that's something that we don't understand either. Like you might like that car, right? But you don't have the cash to pay for it. So you got to go to the bank and have a loan. Now you got to make those monthly payments every month. Or you might like that house, and it might be fine and great, but you got to make that payment every month. And it might be the greatest experience in the world, but what's the fine print that you're not looking at?
I don't want to forget her, because maybe she was sent to me. I can help her, elevate her, and teach her something.
That's what I
don't want to forget her for that reason.
Right.
I don't know. They go from Oxycodone to heroin because heroin's cheaper. But she looks good. Her skin is fine. She doesn't look strung out at all. I don't know why she went on pills like that. She goes, so
Well,
many people. She goes, you have no idea how many people between 15 and 35. She goes,
Wow.
everybody I know was on.
That's a
something.
whole other story, man. Because there's some sinister.
She said she made it sound like everybody. She seems like a reasonably
Well, in
intelligent
their
girl.
world, everybody's everybody they know, like right.
Right.
I mean, it's not like I mean a lot. I'm sure a lot of people are doing it.
Well,
but
when
you have,
you're young
but you have
that
to be in that
age-
world to know.
When
who,
you're
who.
young that age, you know
Right.
a lot more young people. Like when
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
that age, I
right.
knew a lot more people.
Oh
So-
no, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot
So-
doing it, man. I've come across the same sort of thing, man. Right.
Oh, you have?
I've heard some dude told me that. He said
What? There's a lot of heroin.
everyone's
on Staten?
doing heroin like on Staten Island. I was like, what? And you know what's interesting? They were all doing Oxycodone, right? And they came out and passed the law to make it harder to get. So they all went to heroin. Now, if you look at the connection, the military controls the poppy fields in Afghanistan. The military's bringing in the heroin.
Mhm.
You get these government people thinking, coming across as the saviors, saving people from Oxycontin, they're all going to heroin. Is there a connection there? Like, is there might be a connection between like, let's make it harder for Oxycontin so that the military can get more money from the heroin, because that's exactly where they're going to go. So these local officials think, oh, we're
Oh.
going to help everyone because
it
we're going to
is-
help them.
it
We're going to
is-
make it harder for everyone to get Oxycontin because we know they're going to go to heroin.
It is
now, you
that
don't
sinister.
think you don't think they know that?
It is that evil.
It is.
It is. It is. That's another thing. You're lucky if you get 1% of the population to believe that. Well, depending on what population you're talking about. In a place like this, I would say almost zero. I'm sure there's some, but
Nobody knows that, right? They're very few, right?
the more people are attached to their goodies here, the more they got to shut down to that reality. Because you can't believe in two systems.
That goes back to what Christ said. You can't serve God and mammon. Man, that's actually a good conclusion. That's actually the topic of what we're really talking about. How are we gonna serve God, or are we gonna serve mammon?
Well, it goes back
You
to-
can't have two masters. Either you love the one or hate the other. How are we gonna serve God, or are we gonna serve mammon?
Well, it goes back
You
to-
can't have two masters. Either you love the one or hate the other.